Aviation, the Honorable Arjuna Ranatunga, State Minister, Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation, the Honorable Ashok Abhay Singh. We also would like to invite the Mayor of the Colombo Municipal Council, Her Worship Rosie Sena Naika, Mayor Sri Javardhanapura Kote Municipal Council, His Worship Madhura Vithanage. We also invite the Secretary from the Ministry of Megapolis and Western Development, Engineer Nihal Rupa Singh, Chief Representative Mr. Fusato Tanaka, Senior Advisor to the Minister of National Policies, Economic Affairs, Resettlement and Rehabilitation, Northern Province Development and Youth Affairs, Mr. R. Paskaralingam, District Secretary Colombo, Mr. Sunil Kannangara, Project Director Light Rail Transit Project, Engineer W.C.P. Aryadasa, and President Orient Consultant Global, Mr. A.G. Yonezawa, to please join us in lighting the oil lamp. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request you all to please rise from your seats for the national anthem. Thank you, and you may take your seat now. Aibuan and a very good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the inauguration ceremony of the Colombo Light Rail Project. The The project, which is designed on 4 of its main features, which we profess more profoundly, the features of comfort, safety, reliability, and accessibility, which will be complemented with the state-of-the-art Japanese technologies. 16 stations, ladies and gentlemen, will reflect the uniqueness of Colombo with a combination of modern and traditional architecture of Sri Lanka and an environment-friendly and sustainable building design concept, which will engulf the overall green image of each station. While we fuss about traffic these days, this is the ideal opportunity of developing our economy and also taking things forward. And now, to welcome you all this evening, I have the pleasure of inviting the engineer of CLR Project Management Unit. Please put your hands together for Engineer Rajitha Gunathilaka to welcome you all this evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm privileged to have this opportunity to welcome you all on behalf of the Project Management Unit of the Light Rail Transit Project for this prestigious occasion, the launching of the Colombo Light Rail Transit Project. When I look around the audience, I'm astonished to see all the excellencies and distinguished guests gathered here. We are deeply honored to welcome you all. Today, our chief guest is Honorable Ranil Wickramasinghe, the Prime Minister, Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. Honorable Prime Minister, we deeply appreciate your presence and offer our most grateful welcome. Honorable Patali Champika Ranawaka, Minister of Megapolis and Western Development, the journey would have been difficult without your guidance. It's our privilege to welcome you, sir. We cordially welcome all the honorable ministers and honorable state ministers for this special occasion. Your presence with us today is invaluable to us. Without the financial assistance by the Japan International Cooperation Agency, this day would still be a dream to us. Ambassador of Japan, His Excellency Akira Sugiyama, we are truly delighted to welcome you for this occasion. Ambassador of France, His Excellency Eric Lavertu, we cordially welcome you for joining us today, sparing your valuable time. The progress of achieving the goal and its success is only as good as the leadership behind it. It's an honor to welcome Engineer Nihal Rupasinghe, the Secretary, Minister of Megapolis and Western Development. Last but not least, it's our great pleasure to have the presence of all the secretaries to the ministries, additional secretaries to ministries, honorable mayors, chairmen of local authorities, directors and senior government officials, divisional secretaries, chief representative, JICA Sri Lanka office, President, Oriel Consultants Global, senior representatives of the joint venture members, project directors and staff of other projects, distinguished guests and our friends from media, we cordially welcome you all for this memorable occasion. We know that cities are the engines of economic growth in any developing country. It is the urban public transport that serves as the oil that prevents the engine from seizing. An effective and well-planned public transport system is an absolute need that has been evidenced by the experience of megacities worldwide. Today, we mark the beginning of a new era of public transportation in Sri Lanka with the launch of the first urban rail rapid transit project. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we warmly welcome you all for joining us, sparing your valuable time on this momentous occasion as we proudly launch the Colombo Light Rail Transit Project under the able guidance of the Ministry of Megapolis and Western Development and with the financial assistance of the Japan International Cooperation Agency. Please enjoy the evening. Thank you.
against the backdrop of this inflexible concrete jungle, trapped in the heat, behind a wheel in bumper-to-bumper traffic, inching your way. Every day is an uphill battle. The daily grind can blur the real joys of life, even for the most optimistic. The city of Colombo has been known as a principal port city of South Asia since the time of kings. Once the administration of Colombo fell to the hands of the Dutch in 1656, traditional transportation methods such as tirikal, bakki carts and tavalam did not suffice the needs of the bustling metropolis. Colombo had become the beating heart of the nation's commerce. To meet the growing demands of the city, the British introduced railroads, trolleybuses, motor lorries, automobiles and tramcars, forever transforming the public transportation sector of the country. The inaugural tramcar set off from the Grand Oriental Hotel Colombo to Totalanga in 1899, starting off what was to be the most popular mode of transportation for the ever-growing working class of Colombo. Tramcars opened to the public on the 13th of January 1900. The tramcars were lucrative and the passengers kept coming. It is recorded that at the height of its operation, the tramcars carried an average of 14,500 passengers daily on both the Grand Pass and Maradana route. In 1904, a total of over 6.5 million passengers were recorded to have taken the trams. Two private companies, the Colombo Electric Tramcar and the Lighting Company Limited, operated the Colombo tramcars until 1944. Subsequently, the Colombo Municipal Council took over its operation and continued services for the public until 1960. With the advent of the private motor cars and buses, the necessity of the tramcar was challenged. Urbanization meant an influx of private vehicles. City roads began to choke under the sheer volume of vehicles that were coming in. While developed nations worked to improve their tramcar network, the Colombo trams had their curtain call around 1950. Poor management and neglect had left only trolleybuses operational. This too stopped in 1964. Today, the city of Colombo is experiencing accelerated growth, and with it, her landscape is transforming. In 2013, the population in the Western Province was an estimated 5.8 million. It is expected to increase up to 7.8 million by 2025. This rapid inflow of people brings with it not only a fresh workforce, but also creates inherent challenges, especially in the transportation sector. The city of Colombo is now ready to rise up to these challenges. Colombo is about to experience an economically and financially viable, consumer-friendly, eco-conscious, state-of-the-art Colombo light rail system, carrying with it the nostalgia of old-world charm. This project does not benefit the present generation alone, but will be a treasured resource for the next, helping in the mobility of all people. With special allocations for differently abled mobilization, the Colombo light rail system will rejuvenate foregone expectations. The new transport system is expected to build connections, open limitless opportunities, and also bring about profound change in how we live and how we work. In Colombo, that change is already underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, while you saw the evolution as to how things have changed and what's about to take place in terms of transformation, we'd like to very sincerely thank the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, as well as the government of Japan, without whom this entire project for the Colombo Light Rail Transit Project wouldn't have been possible. And now I have the esteemed honor and privilege of inviting His Excellency Akira Sugiyama, the Japanese ambassador to Sri Lanka, to make his address. Ladies and gentlemen, your applause to His Excellency.
Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, Honorable Patali Champikarnawaka, Minister of Megapolis and Western Development, Mr. Sato Tanaka, Chief Representative of JICA, Sri Lanka Office, distinguished officials of the Government of Sri Lanka, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my great honor and privilege to participate in the ceremony to launch the Colombo Light Transit Project. This LRT system will provide the people in and around Colombo with a safe, reliable, and comfortable commuting system, and is expected to help mitigate the traffic congestion in the Colombo area. It will enhance the connectivity between the administrative hub of Colombo and the densely populated residential area in its suburbs, and reduce the traveling time between Colombo Fort and Malabe to approximately 30 minutes. Reduction of air pollution is also expected, as there will be less private cars used for commuting in the morning and evening rush hours. I hope that this LRT system with Japanese technology will contribute a great deal to the social and economic development of Sri Lanka, especially Colombo, and improve the quality of life of the Sri Lankan people. I would like to note that for this project, the government of Japan will extend a yen loan package up to the amount of about 30 billion Japanese yen on highly concessional terms and conditions. Earlier this year, on March 11th, I had the pleasure to sign the exchange of notes to implement this project together with Dr. R.H.S. Samaratunga, Secretary to the Treasury, Ministry of Finance. 8 years ago, on the same day, March 11th, 2011, Japan suffered from the Great East Japan earthquake. I would like to take this opportunity to renew our sincere appreciation for the heartwarming support that the government and people of Sri Lanka have provided for us at that time. With this deep appreciation in mind, Japan remains committed to continuously extending assistance for Sri Lanka's peace and prosperity in response to the genuine needs of the Sri Lankan people. Last but not least, I would like to express deep appreciation to Honorable Minister Ranawaka and his team in the Ministry of Megapolis and Western Development, as well as the Ministry of Finance for their cooperation so far, and look forward to working closely with them in order to achieve successful completion of this important project. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your participation here with us this evening and for your presence amongst your busy schedules as well. Thank you.
ශ්‍රී ලංකේය ජනතාවට ඉන්න හිතන රටකට අවශ්‍ය ප්‍රමුඛ මහජන පහසුකමක් ප්‍රමුඛ මහජන සේවාවක් නව්‍යකරණයකින් යුතු සුරක්ෂිත සුවදායී විශ්වාසවන්ත සුව පහසු එවැගේම බාධක රහිත ගමනාගමන ශාස්ත්‍රයේ නව්‍ය පෙරළිය අද දවසේ මෙලෙස සමාරම්භණය කරන්නටයි අප සූදානම් වන්නේ. මාලබේ කොළඹ සැහැල්ලු දුම්රිය සංක්‍රමණ ව්‍යාපෘතිය ස්ථාන 16ක් එවැගේම ඒ ස්ථාන 16වට සංවර්ධනයක් කිලෝමීටර් 16ක දුරක් රුපියල් ඇමරිකානු ඩොලර් බිලියන 2.2ක ආයෝජනයකින් සිදු කරන මහා ප්‍රතිලාභ රසක් සමගින් එකතු වන සංවර්ධනයේ නව්‍ය අරුණල්ල බවට අද දවසේ සිටපත් කරන්නටයි මේ සූදානම. මේ සම්බන්ධව වන විධිමත් අවබෝධයක් විධිමත් පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් ඔබ සියලුම දෙනාට ලබා දීම වෙනුවෙන් අප සූදානම් වනවා ඊට සුදුසුම පුද්ගලයාට මේ පිළිබඳව හඳුන්වා දීම වෙනුවෙන් ආරාධනා කරන්නට. ඒ ව්‍යාපෘතියේ ව්‍යාපෘති අධ්‍යක්ෂ වරලත් ඉංජිනේරු කමාන්ඩර් චමින්ද ආරිදාස මහතාට.
அனைவருக்கும் அன்பு வணக்கம். நாட்டிலுள்ள போக்குவரத்து பிரச்சனைகளை தீர்க்கும் வகையில் ஒரு அங்கமாக இந்த இலகு ரயில் சேவை நிர்மாண பணிகள் இன்றைய தினம் ஆரம்பித்து வைக்கப்படுகின்றன. கொழும்பு கோட்டைக்கும் மாலபேக்கும் இடையில் இந்த இலகு ரயில் பாதை அமைக்கும் பணிகள் இன்றைய தினம் உத்தியோகபூர்வமாக ஆரம்பித்து வைக்கப்படுகின்றன. ஜப்பானின் நிதி உதவியுடன் அமைக்கப்படும் இந்த ரயில் பாதை 11 கிலோமீட்டர்களை கொண்டதாக அமைய இருக்கிறது. 16 ரயில் தரிப்பு நிலையங்கள் அமைய உள்ளன. 4 பெட்டிகளை கொண்ட இலகு ரயில்கள் இந்த சேவையில் ஈடுபடும். இதில் 800 பயணிகள் வரை பயணிக்க முடியும். மொத்தமாக $2.2 பில்லியன் செலவில் இந்த செயல் திட்டம் முன்னெடுக்கப்படவிருக்கிறது. இதில் சொல்ல போனால் இந்த பயணத்தை குறிப்பாக கொழும்பு கோட்டையிலிருந்து மாலபே வரைக்கும் உள்ள பயணத்தை 30 நிமிடத்தில் நிறைவு செய்ய முடியும். 3 நிமிடத்துக்கு ஒரு முறை ஒரு ரயில் ஒரே திசையில் அல்லது எதிர் திசையில் பயணிக்கக்கூடிய வாய்ப்பு இருக்கிறது. இந்த விடயங்கள் பற்றி சிறந்தோர் அறிமுகத்தையும் விளக்கத்தையும் தருவதற்காக நாங்கள் அடுத்ததாக அன்புடன் அழைப்பது இந்த செயல் திட்ட பணிப்பாளர் பொறியியலாளர் கமாண்டர் ஓய்வு பெற்ற சமிந்த ஆரியதாச அவர்களை.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard the project details, but there are more benefits that has been offered, and to tell you more about the project, I have the pleasure of inviting the engineer Commander Chaminda Aryadasa, project director for the Colombo Light Rail Project Management Unit. Please put your hands together. Let's give a round of applause to engineer Chaminda Aryadasa.
Good evening to everybody. Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, His Excellency Akira Sugiyama, the Ambassador of Japan, His Excellency Eric Lavtiev, the Ambassador of France, Honorable Arjuna Ranatunga, Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation, Honorable Ashok Abesinghe, State Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation, Her Worship, the Mayor of Colombo Municipal Council, His Worship, the Mayor of Sri Javadanapura Kotte, Secretary, Minister of Megapolis and Western Development, Secretaries of Ministries, Mr. Fusato Tanaka, the Chief Representative, JICA Sri Lanka Office, representatives from donor agencies, Chairman, Director Generals and senior officials of the government institutions, Engineer E.G. Yonezawa, the President, Oriental Consultants Global, and the experts representing the joint venture, department heads, project directors, members of the project management units, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. As all of us know, today inaugurates a new era in public transport in our country, a revolution in urban mobility towards safe, reliable, comfortable, and barrier-free mode of public transport. On this glamorous and momentous occasion of the launching of Colombo Light Rail Transit Project, co-financed by the Japan International Cooperation Agency and the Government of Sri Lanka, I being the project director of this project, I would like to make you aware about the importance of this project, our achievements, where we are, and challenges ahead of us. We may need your guidance, assistance, tolerance, and interactive coexistence when it comes to the parallel implementation of the related projects. Out of the total project cost of $2.2 billion, $1.85 billion is financed by JICA at the interest rates of 0.01% for the consultancies, 0.1% for the civil works, machinery, and equipment procurement. The total repayment period is 40 years, including 12 years of grace period. Subsequent to the Comtrans study, the feasibility study of this project was commenced in February 2017. The feasibility study was successfully completed and the report was submitted, handed over to the Minister in June 2018, last year. In this feasibility study, the aspects of technical, economic, financial, environment, and social feasibility of the project was scrutinized, studied in depth. The route and the station locations, project cost estimation, project duration, train operation schedules, electricity requirement, affordable LRT fare for the general public, the expected technical features and quality of service are the areas covered in this study. It's very important to know by the public that the approximate cost per ticket from Mala Bay to Colombo Fort, that is the multimodal transport hub to come in the Colombo Fort, is rupees 100. And at the same time, proportionately, it will reduce according to the distant passenger travel using this LRT system. At the same time, we managed to get the approval for the resettlement action plan in July 2018, which covered potentially affected population and properties, census survey, socioeconomic characteristics of project affected people, compensation packages, the grievance redress mechanisms, institutional arrangements, cost and budget, implementation schedule, and monitoring and evaluation of the same. We successfully completed the EIA process, addressing impacts and providing mitigation or the mitigatory measures on noise and vibration, ecological impacts, solid waste disposal, treated wastewater discharge, traffic impacts, social impact zone. And we managed to get the approval of the CEA, the Central Environment Authority, in the same month, July 2018. It's a compulsory requirement that we have to publish the EIA in Japan for the Japanese public to know what we are doing here for a duration of 120 days. So we disclosed the EIA in Japan for 120 days. It took 4 months. So we managed to sign the loan agreement on 11th March 2019, that is almost exactly after 1 year of starting the feasibility study. 2 days after the contracts, the loan signing, that is, we signed the loan on 11th March, so we managed to award the consultancy contract 2 days after at a total cost of US dollars 148 million. It's a big amount. But we have to keep in mind that this amount includes the VAT, NBT, personal income tax, corporate income tax, almost all the taxes. So we managed to award this contract promptly as we carried out the procurement process in parallel with the concurrence from the JICA. This contract covers the detailed design, preparation of tender documents, procurement support, construction supervision, and project management. To provide these services, we need 7,600 man-months of professional input for a duration of 7 years, including the defects liability period. For that, 103 foreign experts, 130 national professionals working for the project, in addition to the 2,800 man-months of supporting staff, out of which already around 50 being mobilized and working with us for the project. So, after awarding the contract on 13 March this year, the consultant mobilized on the 1st April 2019. Now we are at the stage of preparing the detailed design and the tender books. We have the confidence that we can award the first package within 2020 and complete the total construction in 2024 for the commissioning. The commercial operation or the vesting to the public, this important light rail project will take place thereafter. Now we know we have the financing, we have the people, we have the consultancy team, so who is going to operate this system? So we studied a couple of successful models and realized that a company limited by guarantee, which is similar to the SLIIT in Mala Bay, is more futuristic and flexible. The company can perform as a fully owned government entity, financially and administratively autonomous, and registered under the Companies Act of Sri Lanka. A committee has been appointed to initiate the formulation of the company, we wish to transfer the human resource from the existing PMU, who will be trained and familiar with the O&M systems related to the LRT system. At the same time, a recruitment process and training schedule for the O&M company have been incorporated in the consultancy package as well. We will select the technical staff, including train drivers, technicians, and tradesmen required in the depot through reputed technical institutions in the country. From the day one of the mobilization of the consultants, one of the major concerns is knowledge transfer. We have to have the Japanese experts, especially in the fields of engineering, so we have to have the knowledge transfer to the Sri Lankan engineers or the professionals, so that our young engineers and professionals could implement similar projects in other cities in the country in the future. So we have the operator if we have the company in place, but we have to have the regulatory body for the regulation of the LRT system. This is not only for the LRT project financed by JICA. We have to think of the projects parallelly proceeding as well as the projects to come in the future. We have drafted the act, and already we have received the comments from the legal draftman. We have proposed few amendments in liaison with the LRT PPP project for the improvements of the LRT Act. We all know that it's a great burden to the treasury if we are not self-sustained. Our future company should survive on its own without any gap financing from the treasury. For that, we have to improve the ridership in the system. For this purpose, the adjacent area to the proposed station or the station's catchment has to be developed, maybe through PPP or land pooling or direct private investments. One such successful story is in our neighbor country, that is Delhi Metro's real estate arm. The O&M company can make a joint venture partnership with an institution like UDA for a viable business model in this effect. We have to think of the importance of the last mile in both ends. Someone can get into the LRT from Malabe and get down from MMTH, but we have to consider how that passenger should travel to his destination, the last mile. Especially for families using their own vehicles at present, can we attract them to the LRT with the available infrastructure? It's doubtful. We have to make sure that their comfort and convenience is guaranteed through our system. The feeder bus services to provide this last mile travel is very important in this respect. Either the O&M company can run a bus or minibus service, or the existing private bus owner's fleet can be improved, or an innovative Uber-like service can be integrated to the LRT system. This can cover mobility requirements of the passengers in residential areas from and to the station. We are in the initial stage of the preparatory work to get the financing from the Green Climate Fund in this effect, because they have done a similar financing arrangement for the Delhi Metro as well. The other two very important factors we are considering in our project are the barrier-free access and the green buffer zone. So I'm not going to discuss about these two because we will be witnessing two videos on the concepts that we are following. One of the most discussed topic out of all was the project cost in general and the cost per linear kilometer in particular. It is my duty to clarify this to avert any misunderstanding among the professionals and among the public in general. You can see on the slide that the basic cost for 7 packages is US dollars 1,374 million. See the additions coming down there: the price escalation, physical contingency, consulting service, land acquisition, administration cost, VAT, interest during construction, and front-end fee. So the all comes accumulated, and the total investment comes to 2.22 billion US dollars. The graph in the right shows how the cost per linear kilometer varies with the distance and the station spacing of a project. When the distance is less and the station spacing is around 1 kilometer, the cost per linear kilometer can reach up to 95 million US dollars. You can see from the graph. At the same time, it can even go up to as well as 45 million per kilometer, depending on the circumstance. So in our case, it lies with the upper category where we have the station spacing 1 kilometer and the distance is 16 kilometers. In this consultancy package, we have included the feasibility study for the extension up to Kaduweli Junction, and also we will keep the structural provisions in Malabe Junction to have another extension towards either Aturugiriya or towards Kottaba. So we will have the provision there. Let's see the challenges. We want to make these challenges our strength in the project management unit and in our ministry. The critical challenge ahead of us is the traffic management during the construction. Ladies and gentlemen, we are closely working with the experts from the University of Moratuwa, Road Development Authority, senior officials of the police department. In addition, we are working on some counter proposals to overcome issues related to the acquisition of paddy land. You know, for a paddy land, the standard compensation package is rupees 7,500 per perch. It's a little difficult to manage in the areas of Malabe. The recruitment of staff to the construction projects. We have the circular. There are some restrictions in recruiting young people to the projects, where we have to have some young blood with the PMU to have this knowledge transfer in this project. Further, we observed that the project that with tax exemptions can progress smoothly, as they will not come across with issues on liquid cash availability in the treasury and the changes on tax policies and the lengthy procedures to be followed in the clearance of material to be imported from different countries. Honorable Prime Minister, honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen, we have a long way to go to reach the commissioning date of this LRT system. The day people can enjoy safe, reliable, comfortable, and barrier-free commute. Whatever the achievements so far we reached could not have been accomplished unless a team of competent professionals in the project management unit. I am proud of all the members in our project management unit, and also thank Honorable Minister and Secretary of our ministry to allow application of meritocracy, one of the 3 pillars in Singapore's success in our recruitment process. This shall lead to pragmatism to get the job done, no matter what the ideology behind or the person, whether the black or white. Thirdly, the most important factor behind mega projects is honesty and integrity. Thanks again, Honorable Minister and Secretary Sirs, for directing us to drive through 3 pillars of success, the MPH. Honorable Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, your participation today would undoubtedly not only make today's program more lively, vibrant, and enriching. This would be an innovative leap forward in the country's history. While humbly requesting your ideas, advice, assistance, and guidance in further improving this project, I conclude my speech. Now you can witness how the construction of a similar project is carried out in a small video clip. Thank you very much.
The construction work will start with the relocation of existing utilities along the road median as well as the road shoulder to facilitate pavement widening work. Barriers with hoarding will be installed to prevent debris from getting into the roadway and also to avoid distraction of the passing motorist, ensuring safety of the road users. To minimize disruption and inconvenience to the road user, a comprehensive traffic management scheme will be implemented in each work zone. Existing carriageway will be widened to compensate for space being taken for construction work at road medians, ensuring existing number of traffic lanes is maintained and minimizing disruption of traffic flow. Traffic will be diverted safely to the newly widened pavement, and the space at road median will be barricaded and separated from the public. The construction of viaduct and station structures will begin with the commencement of foundation structures. Steel sheet pile will be installed before excavation work and construction of pile cap to ensure stability of the adjacent road pavement and the safety of road user. Advanced climbing system formwork will be used for the construction of piers. This will shorten construction time, minimize disruption and inconvenience to the road user. Once the pier construction is completed, the area will be cleaned and cleared of construction debris and reinstated for traffic use. The station concourse will be supported by precast crosshead, launched and installed in position by cranes, delivered to site from designated casting yard off-site. The project is using as much as applicable precast method of construction to shorten the construction time and minimize. Additional traffic lanes need to be closed for bigger workspace required for the cranes and trailers. This will be accomplished during night work when additional traffic lanes can be closed with minimum disruption to road users. The viaducts are built with precast segmental box girder, delivered to site by trailer and launched in position by an overhead launcher during night work when additional lanes closing possible. Roads adjacent to work zones will be well lit to provide clear guides and directions for motorists passing through the work zones. The station concourse is built with precast beam supported by crosshead. Precast beams delivered to site by trailers from designated casting yard are launched onto the supporting crosshead by cranes. As a safety precaution, the soffit of the completed span of precast beams will be installed with safety netting to prevent any possible construction debris falling onto live traffic passing through underneath. The traffic flow is reinstated as before. The concourse level slab will be cast with concrete delivered by concrete mixer trucks from approved batching plant and placed in position by concrete pump trucks. Further station construction activities continue above concourse level with traffic safely flowing underneath. Construction of elevated station continues till completion without further disruption to traffic flow.
Thank you very much to Engineer Commander Chaminda Aryadasa for taking us through that fantastic presentation on outlining all the details about the project. And ladies and gentlemen, in order to protect the environment and the people living surrounding the depot area, a green buffer zone will be created. We're inviting you now to focus your attention to the screen to find out more details as to what the green buffer zone is all about.
A little to the northeast of the rapidly developing city of Malawi, alongside Chandrika Kumaratunga Mawada, there's a patchwork of paddy fields and wetlands of approximately 20 hectares. heavy rain regularly inundates the land in floods, the neighborhood is of high commercial value, and readily available land for development can rarely be found on this stretch of Colombo. Soon, this underutilized space is expected to be home to a colossal structure, the crown jewel of the LRT, the depot of the Colombo light rail system. The depot will consist of stabling tracks, test tracks, heavy maintenance sheds, breakdown maintenance sheds, wheel reprofiling and light maintenance sheds, administrative buildings, training centers, the operation and control center, a wastewater treatment plant, and many other facilities. This depot will rest on an elevated structure supported on a field of pillars. The elevation will serve the pragmatic purpose of preserving the flood retention capacity of the wetland, ensuring the low-lying area is not filled in. This environmentally conscious measure will control exacerbation of flood water while protecting the existing biological environment. The Green Buffer Zone, a thick strip of cultivated vegetation comprising of plants such as bamboo, na and kubuk, will run the perimeter of the depot. This green belt will then seamlessly merge with the surrounding wilderness. The dense layer of plant cover will provide a noise barrier, reducing the impact of sound pollution, while doing double duty as air purifiers, especially during the operational phase. The vegetation that will be cultivated as part of the LRT plan will directly compensate for the plants that will be removed due to construction. Provisions have been made to ensure that the natural habitat and ecosystems is not only preserved, but greatly improved through the introduction of this green belt. The Colombo Light Rail Depot will stand as testament to man's peaceful, symbiotic existence with nature.
One of the most important factors is the avert of effective negative environmental impacts caused by the activity in the depot. And now, when we see visual effect improvements of living environment of the residents, this is going to come alive and bring new air to everyone. We're now about to tell you something about Pannare, which was launched yesterday, and now it's taking an initiative forward for the well-being of human.
මහනගර සහ බස්නාහිර සංවර්ධන අමාත්‍යාංශය, ඒ වගේම නාගරික සංවර්ධන අධිකාරිය, ඉඩම් සංවර්ධනය කිරීමේ සංස්ථාව ඇතුළු මේ අද දවසේ සමාරම්භය සටහන් වන මාළඹේ කොළඹ සැහැල්ලු දුම්රිය සංක්‍රමණ ව්‍යාපෘතිය ඇතුළු ප්‍රමුඛ ව්‍යාපෘතීන් රසක්ම අප මහනගර හා බස්නාහිර සංවර්ධන අමාත්‍යාංශයේ විදිහට සිදු කරන්නේ සම විටම විශේෂ වූ හේතු ධර්ම කාරණා හතරක් මත පාදරාම්භ. ආර්ථික යහපැවැත්ම, ආධ්‍යාත්මික යහපැවැත්ම, ඒ වගේම සබහාදහම සමග වන සංහිඳියාව සහ තිරසර භාවයේ සමග ඒ ප්‍රමුඛ වූ අංග ඇතුළු කර ගැනීමෙන් සිදු කරන මේ ව්‍යාපෘතීන් වලින් භෞතික සංවර්ධනයේ සේම මානව සංවර්ධනයත් අප අපේක්ෂා කරනවා. ඒ අපේක්ෂාව යථාර්ථයක් බවට පත් කරගන්නට, ඒ අපේක්ෂාව තුලින් ඒ සමාජයේ බිහි කරන්නට අවශ්‍ය වන කාර්යභාරය මේ ව්‍යාපෘතීන් සඳහා අප කැපව සිටින උරදෙන සියලුම කාර්ය මණ්ඩලය මේ වන විට ඉටු කළ තිබෙනවා, ඉටු කරමින් සිටිනවා. මේ සමස්තය පිළිබඳව කතා බහ කරමින් මේ රටේ හුදු ආත්ම තෘප්තියක් වෙනුවෙන් සමාජයේ ජනප්‍රියත්වයට පමණක් නොව ඉන් එහා ගියපු කරුණු කාරණා හඹා යමින් සමාජ ප්‍රගමනය සඳහා වන දායකත්වය ගන්නට, ඒ සඳහා වන මිනිසුන් සොයා යන්නට, ඒ සඳහා වන මිනිසුන්ට අවශ්‍ය ශක්තිය ලබා දෙන්නට අපි කටයුතු කරමින් සිටිනවා. ඒ කටයුත්ත මහනගර සහ බස්නාහිර සංවර්ධන අමාත්‍යාංශයේ ප්‍රමුඛව රට පුරා දියත් කරන වැඩපිළිවෙල අප ඊයේ දවසේ සමාරම්භණය කරා. ඒ පන්නරය ඉන්න හිතන රටකට වන ප්‍රවේශය අපි මෙලෙසයි ගන්නට සූදානම්.
ඒත්‍ය තුළ ස්වයංවිනයක් සහිත පුරයක් වෙයි. ඒ පුර 8 විධි ගුණයන්ගෙන් යුක්ත වෙයි. වෙන සෑම ජනවර්ගයකටම සුවිශේෂී අනන්‍යතාවක් සහ වගකීමක් ඇත. ඒවා එකතු වීමෙන් ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය ජාතිය ගොඩනැගී. එබැවින් මේ කිසිවෙකුත් අපට බැහැර කර නොහැකි. දෙදුලන බව ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය සමාජය ආවේනිකවම පරිත්‍යාගශීලී සමාජයකි. ශිෂ්ටත්වය සංස්කෘතිය කාලානුරූපීව වෙනස් වන අතර ඊට අනුකූලව සමාජයක ශිෂ්ටත්වය යනුවෙන් හඳුන්වන කාරණාද වෙනස් වේ. සංස්කෘතිය ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් හට නීතිය බාහිර නායකකි. නමුත් සිරිත යනු ඔවුනට ආධ්‍යාත්මික බැඳීමකි. ඔවුන් කිසිසේත් සිරිත උල්ලංඝනය කිරීමට සූදානම් නැත. ගුණගරුක බව ගුණ නොගුණ තනිව හඳුනාගත හැකි මිනිසුන් සිටින සමාජයක් ගොඩනැගිය යුතුය. සාධාරණත්වය යනු සමාජය විසින් මිනිසුන් හට ලබා දෙන කායික, වාචික, මානසික ආරක්ෂාව සහ ඒ මත ගොඩනැගෙන අන්‍යෝන්‍ය විශ්වාසයයි. සබුද්ධික බව දියුණු සමාජයක් තුළ ආවේගශීලී සහ හැඟුම්බර තීරණ නොව බුද්ධියෙන් විමසා ගන්නා තීරණ අනුගමනය කරයි. සුවිශාල බව යනු රටේ මිනිසුන්ට දැනෙන සියල්ලන්ටම අත්විඳිය හැකි හුදෙකලා නොවූ සංවර්ධනයයි.
ඉන්න හිතන රටකට පන්නරේ ලබන්නට ඒ ඉන්න හිතන රට සුව පහසුවෙන් සුවදායීව විශ්වසනීයව ඉටු කරන්නට අපි හැමෝටම වගවීම පැවරී තිබෙනවා. ඒ වගවීම රාජ්‍ය යාන්ත්‍රණය තුල සෑම මිනිසෙකුගේම යුතුයකමක් කොට සලකන ඒ අවශ්‍යතාවයනොත් ඉටු කරන්නට ඔහු මේ වන විට මහනගර හා බස්නාහිර සංවර්ධන අමාත්‍යාංශයට නායකත්වය ලබා දෙනවා. ඒ නායකත්වය තුලින් සෑම සංවර්ධන කාර්යයක්ම සෑම සංවර්ධන කටයුත්තක්ම මානව දයාව සහ ආර්ථික ඵලදායීත්වයේ ඇතිව සිදු කරන්නට ඒ සියලු කාර්ය මණ්ඩල අද වන විට සමත් වී තිබෙනවා. ඒ සමත් වීම අද දවසේ මේ ප්‍රවාහන ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ නව්‍ය පෙරළියක් සඳහා වන අලුත් පිවිසුම මෙලෙස සමාරම්භණය කරන මොහොතේ මේ ගෞරවනීය ආරාධනය සභාව ආමන්ත්‍රණය කිරීම සඳහා මහනගර සහ බස්නාහිර සංවර්ධන ගෞරව අමාත්‍ය பாடலி சாம்பிக ரணவக மனத்துமாடு
நிகழ்ச்சியில் அடுத்ததாக பெருநகர அபிவிருத்தி மற்றும் மேல்மாகாண அபிவிருத்தி அமைச்சர் கௌரவ பாட்லி சாம்பிக ரணவக அவர்களை அன்புடன் மேடைக்கு அழைக்கின்றோம்.
Ladies and gentlemen, the address by the Honorable Partli Champika Ranavaka, Minister of Megapolis and Western Development. Your applause, please.
Good evening to you all. Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Honorable Arjun Ranatunga, Minister of Transport and Aviation, Honorable Ashok Abesinghe, State Minister of Transport and Aviation, His Excellencies of Japan and other embassies, and all the members of the diplomatic community, mayors of Colombo and Sri Jawatanapura, our secretary and the senior government officials, and our project team led by Engineer Chamidari Dasa. Dear friends, the Light Rail Transit Project we launched today is one of the largest projects undertaken by our government, perhaps second only to the port city and Mahavali in this country. The project will initially benefit the people living mainly in the areas surrounding the wars-affected traffic corridor from Malabé to Colombo port. With the financial assistance coming mainly from the Japanese government, the initial phase of the project from Malabé to Colombo, including the depot, will cost US $2.2 billion, and the second and third phases of Malabé to Kadula and from Malabé to Kottawa respectively will cost much less, as we have already invested on the main infrastructure, including the depot facilities. As explained by the project director, this will have the most comfortable, safe, affordable and passenger-friendly features in addition to park and ride facilities for the selected station and other consumer facilities like shopping malls and restaurants, meeting the daily needs of the busy working commuters. Travel times will be very much reduced in addition to the comforts offered to the passengers. We use the latest railway technology from Japan, thereby transferring the knowledge and know-how to local counterparts while providing employment to a large number of people in the country. The Japanese experts will assist and train our local counterparts in new technologies in all stages of the project, right throughout, including the defects notification period in the implementation of the project. Further, the system is very environmental friendly due to the fact that it is powered by electricity, reducing the air pollution to almost zero for transporting well over 800 passengers in a short time like 32 minutes from Malabé to the proposed multimodal transport hub in Colombo port. We have planned to take care of all project affected people with due compensation, with minimum disturbance to their livelihood. Also, we have taken all measures to retain the aesthetic view of the route by specially designs of the elevator structure and with green building concept in constructing the stations. Further, we have entered into negotiations with the multi-story building owners and investors to assist them while facilitating the proposed route through their structures, thereby benefiting both the investor and the project proponent on a win-win basis. Though the depot will cover an area of over 22 hectares, we have planned to provide a green buffer zone surrounding the depot so that it will look a beautiful and environment-friendly site to the general public on completion. So these are some of the salient features of the project, and with this short message, I wish all the very best for the staff, both Japanese and Sri Lankan, involved in the implementation of this project, and hope the system will be available for commercial operation ahead of the target date. I thank you. With the benefit of the local media, I would like to say a few things in Sinhalese as well. Garu Agamettumani, Garu Pravahana Ametuma, Raja Ametuma, Evagema Colombo Sri Jawatanapura Kote Nagaradhipati Tumala, Tumia, Evagema අපගේ අමාත්‍යාංශයේ ලේකම්තුමා ඒ වගේම අපේ ව්‍යාපෘති අධ්‍යක්ෂකතුමා ඇතුළු කාර්යමණ්ඩලය ජපානයේ තානාපතිකාරය සහ තවත් තානාපතිකාර නියෝජනය කරන නියෝජිතවරු ඒ වගේම ජයිකා ආයතනයේ නියෝජිතවරු ඇතුළු සියලුම දෙනාගෙන් අවසරයි. අද අපේ රටේ ඉතිහාසයේ සුවිශේෂී දවසක්. මේ රටට දුම්රිය සේවය වසර 100කටත් ඔබෙන් දී හඳුන්වා දීමෙන් පස්සේ මේ ඇතිවන වෙනස මේ රටේ පොදු ප්‍රවාහන ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ විප්ලවීය පරිවර්තනයක් ඊළඟ දශකයේදී සිදු කරයි කියලා අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ රට අධික ජනගහන ඝනත්වයෙන් යුතු රටක්. මේ රටේ තවදුරටත් පෞද්ගලික රථවාහන වලට ඉඩ දීමෙන් මේ රට අඟලක් තව ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන්න බෑ. මොකද මාර්ග තදබදයේ විසින් විශාල සමාජ පීඩනයක් හා බරපතල ආර්ථික පීඩනයක් අද වෙන විට එල්ලකොට තිබෙන නිසා. ඒ නිසා මේ රටේ සෑම ප්‍රවේශයකටම පෞද්ගලික වාහනයක් ලබා දීලා රටේ ප්‍රවාහන ක්ෂේත්‍රය දියුණු කිරීමට තවදුරටත් නොහැකි බව අප සියලු දෙනාම අවබෝධ කරගත යුතුයි. ඒ නිසා පසුගිය දශක එකහමාරක පමණ කාලය තුල රජයේ ප්‍රාග්ධන වියදම් වලින් 40%කට වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් වැය වුණේ පෞද්ගලික ප්‍රවාහනය ඉදිරියට ගෙන යාම සඳහායි. මෙතෙන් සිට ඇති කරන මේ ව්‍යාපෘතිය මගින් පොදු ප්‍රවාහනය ශක්තිමත් කිරීමට විප්ලවකාරී ඉදිරි පියවරක් තබනවා ඇති. ඒ වගේම එහිදී විශේෂයෙන්ම දුම්රිය සේවය, ඒ වගේම බස් නවීකරණය, ඒ වගේම බහුවිධ ප්‍රවාහන මධ්‍යස්ථාන ඉදි කිරීම, ඒ වගේම පවතින දුම්රිය නවීකරණය කියන මේ ව්‍යාපෘතීන් මගින් ඉදිරි දශකයේදී රටේ පොදු ප්‍රවාහනය තාමත්ම ශක්තිමත් තලයකට එසවි තැබෙනවා ඇති කියලා අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා. බොහෝ දෙනෙක් මේවා පිළිබඳ සැකමුසු තත්ත්වයන් ඇති කළා. මේ රටේ ව්‍යාපෘතියක් ඇති කරන්නට දශක ගාණක් වැය වෙනවා. මට මතකයි අපේ විදුලි බල ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ පුරෝගාමියා වෙන විමල සුරේන්ද්‍ර මැතිතුමා එතුමා රාජ්‍ය මණ්ඩල සභාවට තේරීපත් වෙච්ච පළවෙනි අවස්ථාවේ 1936 දී එතුමා යෝජනා කළා අවිස්සාවේලේ සිට කොළඹ දක්වා විදුලි දුම්රිය ගෙනෙන්න. ඒ සඳහා තමයි ලක්ෂපාන ප්‍රධාන විදුලි බල මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ අවිස්සාවේලේ ඉදි කළේ. දැන් වසර 100කට ආසන්න වෙලා තියෙනවා. අපට ඒ ඉලක්කය සපුරා ගැනීමට නොහැකිව තිබෙන තත්ත්වයක් අද වෙනකන් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. නමුත් මේ සිදුවීමත් යෝජිත දුම්රිය නවීකරණ ව්‍යාපෘතියත් කැලණිවැලි මාර්ගයේ සහ අනිකුත් දුම්රිය සේවාවල ප්‍රවාහන අමාත්‍යාංශය යටතේ විප්ලවකාරී පරිවර්තනයක් සිදු වෙයි කියලා අපි කල්පනා කරනවා. ඒ වගේම මැනින් වෙළඳපොළ අපි ලබන වසරේදී ඉවත් කරනවා කොළඹ දුම්රිය ස්ථානය ඇසලින්. ඒ වගේම ප්‍රංශ රාජ්‍ය ආධාරයෙන් අපි සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම කොටුව දුම්රිය ස්ථානයත් බස් නැවතුමත් එකට ගෙනෙන බහුවිධ ප්‍රවාහන මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ මේ වෙනකොට සැලසුම්කට අවසන් කර තිබෙනවා. බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ලබන වසරේදී එහි ඉදිකිරීම් කටයුතු ආරම්භ කිරීමට අවශ්‍ය වටපිටාව ලබා දෙයි කියලා. මේ රටේ ව්‍යාපෘතියක් කරගෙන යාමට ඉතාම විශාල කාලයක් අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. පසුගිය කාලයේ මේ රටේ සිදුවෙච්ච මහා පරිමාණ ව්‍යාපෘති බොහොමයක් ඊට දශක ගණනකට පෙර සැලසුම් කොට සිදු කිරීමට අවශ්‍ය කරන සියලුම ප්‍රතිපාදන සකස් කර තිබූ දේවල්. අපේ රටේ මහවැලි ව්‍යාපාරය 950 ගණන් වල සැලසුම් කළ දෙයක්. ඒ වගේම මේ අධිවේගී මාර්ග පද්ධතිය ආදිය 1968 සිට සැලසුම් කර තිබෙන දේවල්. ඒවා දැන් තමයි ක්‍රමයෙන් යථාර්ථයක් බවට පත් වෙන්නේ. නමුත් මේ ව්‍යාපෘතිය අපි ආඩම්බරයෙන් කියනවා 2016 දී ආරම්භ කරලා 2019 වෙනකොට සියලුම අධ්‍යයනයන් අවසන් කළා මේ ප්‍රායෝගිකව ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන තත්ත්වයට පත් කිරීමට හැකි වුණා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපගේ අමාත්‍යාංශයේ ලේකම්තුමා අතිරේක ලේකම්තුමා තුමියන්ලා ඇතුළු සියලු දෙනාට විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ ව්‍යාපෘති කණ්ඩායමටත් අපේ ස්තුතිය පිරිනමන අතරේ එසදා අපට අනගි මඟ පෙන්වීමක් හා සහායක් ලබා දුන්නු ජයික ආයතනයටත් ජපාන තානාපති කාර්යාලයටත් මුදල් අමාත්‍යාංශයටත් අපගේ ගෞරවය මේ අනුව ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. ඉතින් අපි 2024-25 වෙන විට අලුත් රටක් ගොඩනගා ගැනීමට මෙමගින් අවස්ථාව ලැබෙයි කියලා අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. දැනටම මේ දුම්රිය පද්ධතිය එනවාය කියන ඒ විශ්වාසය නිසා අප ගැන තබා ඇති විශ්වාසය නිසා පසුගිය වසරේ බත්තර මුල සහ අවට ප්‍රදේශවල ඉඩම් මිල ගණන් 129කින් වැඩි වූ බව ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. මේ මාර්ගයේ කටයුත්ත එනවාය කියන විශ්වාසය නිසා පමණයි. ඒ නිසා මෙයින් දැනටමත් මේ ආයෝජනය නිසා සැලකිය යුතු ප්‍රතිලාභයක් අපේ ජනතාවට මේ වෙන විටත් ඉඩම් හිමියන් සහ අනිකුත් අයට ලැබී අවසන් ඔවුන්ට යුක්ති සහගත වන්දි ගෙවීම් ක්‍රමයක් එක්ක මේ කටයුතු අවසන් කිරීමට අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඉතින් අද ආරම්භන මේ විප්ලවකාරී පරිවර්තනය 1860 ගණන් වල මේ රට දුම්රිය හඳුනා දීමෙන් බ්‍රිතාන්‍යයන් විසින් ඇති කළ ඒ පරිවර්තනයට වඩා ඉදිරි දශකයේ හෝ දෙක ඉදිරියට යාමට ශ්‍රී ලංකාව ඉන්දියන් සාගරයේ උදවත් එදවත් බලවත් රටක් බවට පත් කිරීමට ඒ වගේම මේ රට හැර යන අපේ වෘත්තීයවේදීන් සහ අනිකුත් ජනතාවට ඉන්න හිතෙන රටක් බවට මේ රට පරිවර්තනය කිරීමට මේ යෝධ ව්‍යාපෘතියේ ඉවහල්ලු නැතයි කියා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙමින් මේට දායක වූ සියලුම දෙනාට විශේෂයෙන්ම ගරු අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමා ඇතුළු මේ සඳහා සහයෝගය ලබා දුන් සියලුම දෙනාට අපේ ගෞරවනීය ස්තුතිය නැවත වතාවක් පළ කරමින් මම නිහඬයි.
Mr. Sodhi, thank you very much, sir, for your kind words and also outlining the initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, safety, reliability, comfort, creating accessible urban public transport, and we're also providing through the LRT systems for barrier-free access. We're talking of persons with disabilities, pregnant women, passengers carrying infants, elderly persons and children. Physically challenged persons will have an opportunity to travel as well. Have a look at the video.
Every newborn has the right to life, and sanctified within this is every human being's right to equality. The differently able are one of the most marginalized groups in this regard. In 1996, the Sri Lankan government lent its patronage to their rights by enacting Act No. 28, the Defence for the Protection of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Protecting by law the right of persons with disabilities to access modes of public transportation.
Every day, every month, differently able citizens join the community from birth or due to some accident or to various incident situations. This is a special discipline that we have to master, because in the future we know with health situations in the country and all over the world, we may come across with many different able people. So it's a new discipline that we have to master on in all our projects.
While it is a challenge to redesign existing facilities to become more differently able-friendly, new public resources can be designed with this otherwise marginalized group in mind.
In a day in our life, we may also join with them, because they should not feel that they are the only people that are suffering from this disability. So we also may come across situations like this. So it is part of our responsibility, our duty to address these issues.
The Colombo Light Rail Transit is one such marvel that empowers differently abled persons, pregnant women and the elderly to also travel with dignity.
I wish to thank the Japanese personnel for assisting Sri Lanka to create an accessible environment, and I also thank the local authorities for taking the first steps, because I think this is the first time that such an accessible system is going to be implemented in Sri Lanka.
The Light Rail Transit System, or LRT, will revolutionize the public transport sector with never before experienced quality of service, speed and efficiency through a mainstreamed approach to barrier-free access inclusion. The LRT will restore the differently able person's right to mobility. The Colombo Light Rail, a safe, comfortable and reliable journey like no other.
රටේ ඕනෑම අමාත්‍යාංශයක ප්‍රමුඛ සංවර්ධන කාර්යභාරයන් ඉටුවද්දී ඒ සඳහා වන මෙහෙයවීම, ඒ සඳහා වන නිසි ප්‍රතිපත්තීන් සැකසීම අත්‍යවශ්‍යයි. විටක ඒ කාරණා කතාවට පමණක් සීමා කරනවා වෙනුවට ඒවා සබුද්ධිකව, ඒවා මහා ඉවසීමකින් යුතුව, ඒවා මේ මහ පොළොව මත ස්ථාපිත කිරීම සඳහා වන නායකත්වය ඔහු ලබා දෙනවා. ඒ නායකත්වයට මහා පන්නරයක් තමන්ගේ දේශපාලන ඉතිහාසය තුළ තමන්ගේ දේශපාලන කටයුතු වලදී ඒ වගේම තමන් ලද අධ්‍යාපනය සහ උගත්කම තුළදී ඔහු මේ සමාජයට ඔප්පු කර සිටිනවා. ඒ ඔප්පු කිරීම විජයක කාර්ය සාධනය තුලින් ඇති කරන්නට ඒ සඳහා වන ඒ අවශ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශ සඳහා වන මඟ පෙන්වීම ඒ සඳහා වන දිරිදීම අදටත් එතුමන් විසින් ලබා දෙමින් සිටිනවා. මේ ගෞරවනීය ආරාධනය අද දවසේ එළිදක් වන මේ සැහැල්ලු දුම්රිය සංක්‍රමණ ව්‍යාපෘතිය වගේම මහනගර හා බස්නාහිර සංවර්ධන අමාත්‍යාංශය වගේම අනෙකුත් අමාත්‍යාංශවලත් ප්‍රමුඛ ව්‍යාපෘතිය සඳහා වන දිරිදීම නිබඳව ලබා දෙන ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතාන්ත්‍රික සමාජවාදී ජනරජයේ ගරු අග්‍රාමාත්‍ය රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමාට
நிகழ்ச்சியில் அடுத்ததாக இலங்கை ஜனநாயக சோசியலிச குடியரசின் பிரதம மந்திரி கௌரவ ரணில் விக்ரமசிங்க அவர்களை அன்புடன் மேடைக்கு அழைக்கின்றோம்.
Ladies and gentlemen, the address by the Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. Please put your hands together for the Honourable Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Honorable Party Champika Ranawaka, Minister of Megapolis and Western Development, Honorable Arjuna Ranatunga, Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation, Honorable Ashok Abesinghe, his State Minister, the Mayors of Colombo, Srijawadanapura, the members of JICA, the board of the UDA, distinguished guests and friends. Today, we've taken another major step to making the megapolis the largest city in the Indian Ocean. This is the inauguration, the start of the work of the Colombo light railway system. To be a modern megapolis, to be a modern urban center, to be a modern city, you must have all the modern facilities, the utilities, the transport, modern commerce. We in Sri Lanka have only started the process, and a big role is being played by the transport system. As the population in and around Colombo grows, as transport becomes a major hurdle, then the Colombo light transit will certainly help us to overcome this and bring into existence one of the most modern systems of transport. This is but one of the aspects of planning out a megapolis, making the Western Province into one urban province with number of urban centers. We had talked of this for a long time, but when we assumed government after the elections, entrusted Honorable Champika Ranawaka with this daunting task, how to modernize and develop the whole concept of megapolis. He has done that successfully. So I must commend him and all of those who have been who are working with him in the UDA and the other agencies. In this, the Colombo light railway transit is an important part. For the first time, for the phase 1, we have a system operating from Fort to Malawi. But there are other extensions planned within the city, to the outskirts. This has been made possible by the government of Japan. The generous gift given by the government of Japan. So I must thank the government of Japan, especially Prime Minister Abe, for this initiative. And of course JICA should be responsible for its execution. I am not dealing with the details of this project because the Honourable Minister and those who spoke before me has explained it well. We have seen here a new concept, and one more step to ensure that we are a modern 21st century society. ගෞරව ඇමතිවරුනි, නගරාධිපතිවරුනි, සම්භාවනීය අමුත්තනි, මිත්‍රවරුනි. 21 වෙනි සතවර්ෂයේ නවීකරණයට වැදගත් පියවරක් අද මේ ස්ථානයේ සිදු වුණා. කොළඹ සැහැල්ලු දුම්රිය පද්ධතියේ වැඩසටහන ආරම්භ කිරීමට අපි මෙතෙන්ට පැමිණලා තිබෙනවා. මේ පද්ධතියෙන් පළවෙනි සැහැල්ලු දුම්රිය මාර්ගයේ කොළඹ ඉඳන් මාල්බේ ඇති වෙනවා පමණ නෙමෙයි, ඒත් අපේ අපේ ප්‍රවාහනේ ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම නවීකරණයක් සිදු වෙනවා. රටක් නවීකරණය වෙනවා නම් ලංකාව නවීකරණ වෙන අවස්ථාවේදී හැම ක්ෂේත්‍රයකම නවීකරණය සිදු වෙන්න ඕන. අධ්‍යාපනය සිදු වෙන්න ඕන. සෞඛ්‍ය සිදු වෙන්න ඕන. වාණිජ්‍ය සිදු වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ප්‍රවාහනය සිදු වෙන්න තියෙනවා. යටිතල පහසුකම් සිදු වෙන්න තිබෙනවා. ඒක තමයි මෙතන අපි ආරම්භ කරලා තිබෙන්නේ. මේ නගරේ නවීකරණය හැටියට එක පැත්තකින් පොත් සිටිය, අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ඇති කරන අනික් විශාල ව්‍යාපෘතිය බලන්න. විශේෂයෙන්ම උසස් ආදායම් පමණ නෙමෙයි, අඩු ආදායම් ලාභීන්ට ඇති කරන තට්ටු නිවාස, ඉදි කරන තට්ටු නිවාස, අනික් වැඩසටහන් හැම ක්ෂේත්‍රයේම ආරම්භ කරලා තියෙන වැඩසටහන් තිබෙනවා. එහෙනම් මේ තිබෙන කොළඹ සැහැල්ලු දුම්රිය පද්ධතිය නිසා කොළඹ ඉඳන් මාල්බේට තියෙන අලුත් ප්‍රවාහනාංශයක් තිබෙනවා. ඒ විතර නෙමෙයි. තවත් කොළඹට නවීකරණය කරන්න, වටේ නවීකරණය කරන්න බහු කාර්ය ප්‍රවාහන මධ්‍යස්ථාන කොටුවේ ඇති වෙනවා. කැලණියේ ඉඳගෙන අලුත් පාලම් ඇති කරලා ඒ පාලම් වලින් එක මාර්ගයක් විශේෂයෙන්ම කුළුණු මත කොළඹ වරාය දක්වා එනවා. අනික් මාර්ගය දැනට රාජගිරිය දක්වා යනවා. මෙන්න මේ අලුත් කොළඹක් තමයි අපි දකින්නේ. අලුත් මහනගරයක බිහිවීම තමයි මෙතන දකින්නේ. ඒ වැඩ කටයුතු ක්‍රියාත්මක කරපු අපේ චම්පික රණවක ඇමතුමාට මම ප්‍රශංසා කරනවා. එතුමා එක්ක වැඩ කරපු මේ කණ්ඩායමට අපි ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම අනාගතයට බලන්න ඕනේ. ඉදිරිය ගැන හිතන්න ඕනේ. එහෙනම් අපේ අපිට රට දියුණු වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි එක තැන ඉන්නවා නම්, අපි පස්සට යන්න හදනවා නම් මේ රට පිළිහෙනවා. අන්න ඒ වැදගත් ස්ථානයකට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. මේ අවුරුදු 5 අමාරුවෙන් හෝ අපි නවීකරණය ආරම්භ කරා. ඒ නවීකරණය තමයි ඉදිරියට ගෙන යන්න තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නවීකරණයේදී විශේෂයෙන්ම විශාල කාර්යභාරයක් කරපු ඇමතුමාටත් මේ අමාත්‍යාංශයේ සියලු දෙනාටම මම ස්තුති කරමින් මගේ වචන ස්වල්පයෙන් අවසන් කරනවා.
Thank you, Honourable Sir, for your kind words and for your presence here with us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we've spoken about the facilities, the benefits, what the project is all about when it comes to the Colombo Light Rail Transit project. But this is just the start. There is a progressive documentation that follows in the future where we have investors who will be joining in, whether it's for shopping malls, parking facilities. It's not just going to be a one-station shop. It will not just stop there. We have a message for you related to that.
Colombo, the economic hub of Sri Lanka, is gaining the world's attention as a rising metropolis, able to attract flourishing investments. As the available physical space in Colombo becomes more and more scarce, proper utilization of what is still available has become paramount. Public transportation is the nervous system of Colombo, its most vital organ. The newest member to the transportation family, the Colombo Light Rail, poses a golden opportunity for real estate developers and investors. The urban landscape around the 16 stations along the 16-kilometer length of the light rail transit system is expected to transform at a pace no other transport corridor in Sri Lanka has hitherto experienced. Along the proposed route of the Colombo Light Rail, there is immense potential for revitalization for vast stretches of real estate. What seems today to be unappealing and deserted acreage near the proposed stations could be transformed into livable urban centers, complete with sparkling skyscrapers, alluring parks, and other impressive infrastructure. Living amenities like malls, schools, office complexes and public spaces will not only attract the public but also improve the standard of life of the original property owners. The planned station area development along the Colombo Light Rail system is expected to create thousands of employment opportunities through the myriad of new businesses that will be introduced. The Colombo Light Rail, not just another way of travel, but an inspiration to the flourishing city of Colombo.
Certainly can't wait to get on board. Ladies and gentlemen, to propose the vote of thanks, I have the pleasure of inviting the Senior Social Assessment Officer of CLRT PMU. Please put your hands together for Madam Jayatharani Senthoran.
Good evening. Honorable Ranil Wickramasinghe, Prime Minister, Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. Honorable Partli Chambikaranawaka, Minister of Megapolis and Western Development. Honorable Arjuna Ranathunga, Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation. Honorable Ashok Abesinghe, State Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks an important milestone in the history of Sri Lanka as we proudly launched the Colombo Light Rail Transit Project with the gracious financial assistance of the Japanese government. On behalf of the Ministry of Megapolis and Western Development and the entire project management unit of Light Rail Transit System, I consider it is a great privilege to have been asked to extend the vote of thanks on this historic occasion. The very presence of the Honorable Prime Minister in today's program, in spite of his extremely busy schedule, is a reflection of the importance attached to the launch of first light rail transit project in Sri Lanka, thereby your commitment to the people of Sri Lanka. We are all inspired by your gracious presence, sir. Today, as we know, urban transport is viewed strategically as an integral component of the smart city development process. We are well aware that this has been the brainchild of the Honorable Minister of Megapolis and Western Development, and we are thankful for your able guidance and leadership, and we look forward to make this project a great success under your leadership, sir. We are also extremely thankful to your excellencies,
honorable ministers, honorable state ministers, members of diplomatic community, chief representative of JICA Sri Lanka office, secretaries and additional secretaries to the ministries, mayors and directors, senior government officials and divisional secretaries for your presence at this launching ceremony. At this juncture, we also wish to express our heartiest gratitudes to the people of Japan and Japan International Cooperation Agency for extending their gracious funding for Sri Lanka's first ever light rail transit system, and we look forward to their support and cooperation throughout the course of this project. I would like to take this opportunity to express our hearty thanks and gratitudes to our Secretary, Engineer Nihal Rupasinghe, Ministry of Megapolis and Western Development, for your unstinted support and guidance you extended to all of us throughout our project activities. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to our project director, Engineer Chaminda Aryadasa, for his inspirational and dynamic leadership for the successful proceeding of the project. Your vision steered this project from day one. Thank you very much, sir. I take this opportunity to extend our most sincere thanks to all our valued distinguished guests for their presence in this momentous occasion. I am grateful to representatives of project-related ministries, institutions, and other organizations for their continuous support and cooperation and being present at this occasion, accepting our invitation. I also extend my thanks to officials of Minister's Office for their enormous support and guidance in the organization of this event. I also would like to express our sincere thanks to media persons, both print and electronic, for giving an excellent coverage to our program. I am also very grateful to event planners for making this event very colorful and attractive. Finally, if I did not mention by name anybody who assisted us in numerous ways making this project a success, I wish to thank them from the bottom of my heart. Once again, I want to state that we are most grateful to all guests present here today. We sincerely thank you for being with us this evening. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the celebration of the Colombo Light Rail Transit Project inauguration ceremony. We'd like to thank you all for being with us here this evening. Please join us for dinner, and also don't forget to take this message out to Sri Lanka about the exciting news that's about to take place. Have yourself a wonderful Wednesday evening.